It's that time of year when a lot of people put guitars away. And for those of you, like myself, that have several guitars, you might decide to put your guitars in storage. This is the time of year, right now in the fall, to review your guitars and to bring the tension on them. Here's what happens. People take their guitars, they leave it in tune, they do a gig, they put it away, they come back to it maybe years later for whatever reason, and they look and they see all the tension has pulled the bridge up, the neck becomes warped. If continued for decades, it could do permanent damage to the guitar. So what you want to do is, there's a truss rod in most acoustic guitars, adjustable or not. There's a truss rod, and you don't want to loosen the strings all the way. Flappy's not good. What you want to do is lighten the tension before you put your guitar away. There should be some tension on there. Your truss rod is working hard to prevent a warp, and if you loosen it up to complete slack or take the strings off, the truss rod will get its way, and in effect it will do this. So you don't want the truss rod to weaken, you don't want the truss rod to get its way and push it out. So you want to lessen your tension. Bring it down a whole step, okay? There should be some tension on there, or you could put on a lighter gauge string when you put it away. But just do that when you put away your guitars. There should be some tension on the strings, but as you put them away for storage, keep that in mind. Also, this is a good time of year to start lining up your humidifiers. Get a big room humidifier in the room your guitars are in. If you go out guitar shopping, you'll see humidifiers in every store, every place in the country. You want to keep your guitars humid. Drying out could be really damaging through them. So whether you have an electric arch top or any type of arch top, you want to put, like this guitar has 10 gauge strings on it. This is a 1960 ES-125 we just got in. A great guitar, by the way, very clean, cool. But this has 10 gauge strings on it, so I'm not too worried about that. I'll put that away knowing the tension is just right. And then here's another old Gibson acoustic, or a Martin acoustic, excuse me, a 1951 0017. On this guitar, if I put this into storage, I'd probably put like a 10 or an 11 gauge string on it, or I take the 12s, I bring it down a full step. But wait, there's more. Like I said, there's more. If you collect pedals, this is a good time of year to make sure that if you have pedals in your collection that are sitting around for long periods of time, perhaps you're just putting them into storage, perhaps you're not playing around the holidays, and you just have an excess of pedals, make sure to take a battery out of all your pedals. What happens is, in some pedals, the battery is really close to the electronics and it will burst and pour acid into your circuit. It's bad. So take out your battery when you store your pedals. By store pedals, I mean I might put this away for a few months or even a year. Generally speaking, if you have Fender guitars or Gibson guitars, you don't have to worry too much because these, generally speaking, have 9s or 10s. However, if you have 12 gauge strings on your electric guitar, then when you put them into storage, you need to down tune them. Not all the way. Just a little bit, just so you can lessen the tension. So if there's light gauge strings on solid bodies, this is not something you have to worry about. But if there's heavy gauge strings on solid bodies, they can ruin the guitar if you leave it in tune. So if you've left a guitar in the attic, which is terrible, you want to go fetch that and make sure you've done this to the guitar for storage. Make sure you humidify your guitar and never leave it in the attic. Here's something I've been telling people for 40 years. Where you're uncomfortable, the guitar's uncomfortable. You could sit in the trunk on the way home, no problem. But sit in the trunk for a day or two? No. You can hide underneath the bed and you'd be just fine. Unless there was an air conditioning vent on the guitar. You could sit in the sun in the living room, no problem, unless you were there day in, day out. If your guitar is exposed to sunlight, drafts, cold, heat. Get it out of there. Remember to humidify. We're happy to share this information with you anytime. And welcome to Willie's American Guitars. But did I show this cool 1978 Telecaster that is so light? Oh my God. One other thing, amplifiers. Turn them on now and then. Amplifiers left alone is like a car. They need juice every now and then. Turn it on with the volume at 0. Turn it on, play through it a little bit once a year to keep it healthy. On that, I will say adieu.